Welcome back. Today, using some cotton fabric, some elastic, and then some additional items such as spacers and some wire, we're going to be making a pleated face mask. We're going to be using 3 pieces of fabric, so I'm going to have this external layer, then there's going to be a middle layer, and then I'm going to have the fabric that will be against my face, which will be the inner layer, so we have a 3-layer face mask. For the elastic, you have 2 options. You can use a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch elastic, or you can actually get face mask elastic off the top of Amazon, which is easier on your ears. Either one works. The mask we're making today will feature a nose piece, so I'm going to be using this piece of wire, so similar to what you find like in a floral department. And then what we'll also be putting on is little spacers that kind of give you a tighter feel for your mask. You can get this off Amazon, but both these steps are going to be optional. As you can see here, I have 1 layer of my mask cut out, so this is just a 9x6 rectangle, and what I'm going to do is cut out the middle layer now, and I will also do this for the inner layer that will be against my face. So that's why we have 3 different pieces of fabric, so 3 different rectangles. Again, that size is 9x6, and it will also be in the YouTube description as well as on the blog. And so with that, I now have 3 layers of fabric for my face mask. So now I have my 3 different pieces of fabric that will be used for my face mask. I have the outer layer, my middle layer, and then the layer that will be against my face. And what I'm going to do is put these together. So I'm going to put the middle layer and the outer layer so that the outer layer is facing up. And then I'm going to put the right sides together of the outer layer and then the layer that will be against my face. So now I have my 3 pieces of fabric all ready to go with the outer layer, the middle layer, and then the layer that will be against my face. So now I'm going to pin on my elastic. So what I'm going to do is take the bottom corner, probably about a 1/2 inch or so up, and place my elastic flush against that piece of fabric. I'm going to pin this together, and then I will bring the elastic all the way up to the top of my fabric and do about a 1/2 inch down, and I'm going to pin that other piece so that both edges are now attached to my mask. Now that my elastic is all pinned up, I'm going to fold down the pieces of fabric and pin these together. I'll also pin the top and bottom on the left half side, and then I will pause when it gets to the right as we're going to add our elastic on that side. So just as a quick reminder, you can see all 3 pieces of fabric are now being pinned together, so I'm going to repeat this for the second side. And now I have my elastic all pinned up, so I have it on the sides. I'm going to fold my mask pieces right back over and pin this up like I did before, and it'll be good to go. So here's my mask all pinned up. I'm going to be going around sewing right along the edges, and I'm going to leave this gap here so that I have room to turn. My mask is now all sewn up, so what I'm going to do is trim along the edges and get that fabric off, especially at the corners, and then I'm going to turn it right side out. Here's my mask right side out. As you can see, the elastic is on the sides connected and the lining on the back, so I'm going to iron this so that it's easier when we put our pleating in. So now that the ironing is done, I'm going to do the pleats, which will be folding the fabric down. To make my pleat, I'm going to grab the fabric maybe about 1 inch or so down, and I'm going to make about a 1/2 inch pleat on the side. I'm going to use my finger to make a crease. I'm going to put a pin on the right side first, and then I'll put a pin on the left side, and this will be my first pleat. I will then repeat this process a little bit further down, another inch or so, and add a second pleat to the mask. So here's a side view of my pleat. As you can see, we have that folded bunch of fabric, and that's what gives us our pleat look. Now I'm going to sew down and then go back up to reinforce it on either side of the mask. When I sew this, you're going to want to be about 1 inch or so away from the edge of the fabric, and we're going to go down and up. Now that it's sewed, I'm going to press this one more time to make sure that it is nice and smooth. I'm also going to go ahead and trim off these loose threads so that it isn't as messy looking. Technically the mask is done now. We do have that little opening at the bottom, which you could leave open if you want to kind of put a coffee filter or something in to allow for extra protection. I'm going to show you how we can use some wire and make a nose piece that will actually go at the top of the mask to give you a better fit. This is an optional step though. Using about a 3 to 4 inch piece of wire, I'm going to grab some pliers and slowly wrap the wire around itself so that I get a little curved edge. This way it won't poke out of the mask. I'll repeat this for the second side. Now I have a piece of wire that is curved on both edges to help prevent any poking that the wire could do out of the mask. I'm going to use that opening that was at the bottom of my mask and work the wire up towards the top of the mask for where the nose piece would go. Now that the wire's in, I'm going to take a seam down and across and then back up again to hold it in place. Now the wire is sewn into place and it won't be coming out at all. So the last step is to sew directly across the bottom to close that opening up. Now that the opening's closed, I'm going to just trim off these extra threads to clean up the mask. At this point, the mask is ready to be worn, but I'm going to do one more additional optional step. And that's going to be, I have these little spacers and I can add them to my elastic. So you can get these little kits off of Amazon where it comes with like a little hook and these little plastic tabs that help to make the elastic more customizable to your ear. The mask is now ready to be worn. So we have the sliders on the outside, great for double masking, and it has the 3 layers. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe.